Lincoln Parker. Lincoln, thank you very much for coming in. Tell us about China's campaign against AUKUS. It's almost as if they see this agreement hurting the Middle Kingdom, the Chinese people and their naval forces.
Well, of course they're afraid of it. And what China is doing is they're undertaking a two-pronged attack. So they are attacking the AUKUS deal, Australia and the United States and the United Kingdom, via both political warfare and information warfare. So on the political warfare front, they have gone to the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, and complained that the AUKUS nuclear-powered submarine portion of the arrangement is against the international law that we have signed up to. Now, that is completely anything from far from the truth.
There's nothing about proliferation of arms in any of the agreements signed between the UK, the United States and Australia.
But what they're also doing, that's correct, is they're doing an information warfare program against AUKUS, and that's influence operations across all of the social media platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and trying to scare the world with disinformation, particularly the likes of Indonesia and Malaysia, which are now coming onto China's side to try and scare them to say that, well, Australia is going to acquire nuclear missiles, which is not true.
Yeah. What we are supposedly acquiring, though, mate, are new missiles, new nuclear submarines, new helicopters, new bombers as well. Where are they?
Well, I know. We're waiting. And we've seen this movie before. So, you know, I worked in the defence industry down in Canberra during the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd years, and Labor comes in and, look, they have talked a great game. We've got to give it to them on that score. But we want to see the action, and we're not seeing the action. We're also hearing rumours coming out of the Department of Defence that Defence is overspent and that they need to stop spending.
So this would come from Treasury or even the Treasurer, because you heard him today, we're tightening our belts, bread and butter budgets, etc.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I can understand why the Treasurer is trying to save money, but don't save money on national security, don't save money on defence. When we are in the decade of concern, when China has outright claimed by both President Xi and even his ambassador to Australia has said, we are going to take Taiwan, come what may.
Yeah. We almost need to think differently to what we've thought about since World War II, don't we?
Well, we absolutely do. We need to recognise the threat. We need to recognise the risk that Australia is under by being surrounded and our trading and our sea lines of communications being cut. And we're seeing what China is doing across, well, the South China Sea, but also the Pacific Islands, Solomon Islands in particular. If that cuts us off from the United States of America, which is where our strategic oil reserve is and where we get our ammunition and where we get all of our help, then
we're gone.
We're gone.
We're gone. All right, to Taiwan, Joe Biden has said 4 times now, and people started to say in the beginning, oh, this is a gaffe, this is a second gaffe. It's no longer a gaffe. He's saying that they will go in and defend if there's an unprovoked attack by China on Taiwan. Now, I get the feeling that he's almost learnt his lesson from being very meek and weak prior to Russia going into Ukraine and thinking to himself, well, if I say we're not going to attack, China will definitely go in. I may as well say we will.
Well,
is that your reading of it?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. So he has said that on 4 occasions, and the most recent being on 60 Minutes. And every time the White House staff has walked back his comments. Look, if he's really serious, why doesn't he take it to the Congress and change the Taiwan Relations Act? The Taiwan Relations Act, as it stands now, only commits or obligates the United States to provide arms or ammunition, etc.
As we do with Ukraine.
As we do with the Ukraine, in order for Taiwan to defend itself. That's it. So why doesn't he go, and he would get bipartisan support.
Yeah.
He would get worldwide support almost to change that. But I think, yes, look, it's a good thing that he's saying it, Chris.
OK, let's presume we reload our defence hardware under this government, and in 2027, China takes Taiwan, as Xi Jinping has suggested. We can't bail on the US. That is not an option.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so, Chris. We are known for being loyal, steadfast allies. The United States has come to our aid in our time of need, in our dire hour of need just 80 years ago. I would think that given that the United States is our sole guarantor of our entire security, that we would back them.
OK, but where are we getting the oil, the gas all the armaments we need, the baseload power to run engines and machinery that are at war?
Well, I can tell you where we're not getting them from, and we're not getting them from so-called renewable energy, the solar panels and the batteries and the windmills and all of those sorts of things, particularly when you've got the critical components of those renewable energies are supplied by China. So we absolutely need to start looking at nuclear power, the new technology in small modular reactors, and we need to start manufacturing and looking after our national security again.
Okay. Lincoln Parker, thank you very much for the update.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate that.